Hey YouTube, this is Mark McGinnis. I apologize, I'm a little sick. I wanted to do a review and say, would I buy the Crf450rl again? Or would I buy a different bike, whether it's Japanese, Chinese, etc.? So this bike is roughly 1 year old. It's got about 1,200 miles on it. It's got actually 1,033, I apologize. And would I buy it again? My honest answer would be no. The first thing with this bike that is totally wrong is the fuel mapping is terrible. In order to fix that, you have to buy an exhaust system, a fuel programmer, set it up. I think it's Vortex ECU. You're talking anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 to get it squared away, which on a bike that already cost over 10 grand out the door, you're talking 11K plus. That is unacceptable. And on top of that, out of the box, this bike has a good engine. It's great, but at low throttle areas, etc., this bike has terrible fueling. And anyone that's driven this bike will tell you it's very easy to stall off idle, and occasionally it dies upon deceleration, whether it's going downhill, uphill, coasting. Maybe the clutch is pulled in, and that is just horrible. It makes learning to ride this bike very difficult, even for riders that know how to drive a dirt bike. And to put that in perspective, just to start the bike, if you don't pull in this fast idle, I don't know if you can see it, it's a little yellow piece up there. If you don't pull it in on cold start, it won't even start because the fuel mapping is so lean. In order to start, it has to have a manual enrichment, basically like a carburetor, just to give it enough fuel versus air to ignite. So the actual fuel mapping can't even start the bike below about 55, 60 degrees without using an enrichment knob. And with that, I'm just gonna start it and show you what it does. Okay, so it does a high idle, then it goes lower and lower, which is good. There is no attack on this bike, just to put that in perspective. So once the bike is warmed up, it's still, if you give it a quick grab of throttle, it'll actually die on you. I don't care how warm you've ridden this bike, how much, I still have it go, if you go right on the throttle and snap it, it tends to die instantly. And I thought that was maybe it was breaking in, maybe it was cold-blooded. I've tried it multiple times. It still does it. And I've never had that happen on a properly jetted carbureted bike, but it happens on this bike, which again, I find that ridiculous. And if you go to start the bike, so I just cold started, it's about 45, 50 in this garage. It's not warm. So I had the fast idle on. I tried to start it. It ran for 5-10 seconds, turned it off. If I go to start it now, so that fast idle knob has been turned in, it will struggle to start. So I just want you to watch this. Okay, so it started second try, not initially. Oh, I gave it throttle, it died. Oh, start it again. Again, gave it too much throttle, it died. Once it's warmed up, this alleviates a little bit, but it never fully goes away. Let's try the fast idle, it's not starting. There we go. Oh, died again. Will she start? I don't know. Nope, gotta pull it in again. So this is terrible. she's dead again. And this is cold starting a 450RL that is emission compliant. It essentially ruins the drivability on the low end. Once it's warmed up, it is usable, but the bottom end is still weak by far. I do not recommend this bike out of the box for anyone that lives with a California emission compliant bike, which this bike meets all 50 states, so you have to abide by that regulation. And I've played with the idle adjustment. It helps a little bit, but it's really just a band-aid for the lean problem. So you can sit, you can adjust the idle. It makes a little difference, but it still does not run better. So in summary, would I buy it again? The answer would be no. I think it's a fun bike. The best feature would be it can actually drive on the road. It can do freeway speeds. The range is limited due to the titanium tank. But as an actual dirt bike, well, one, it's too heavy. This thing weighs about 50 pounds more than anything KTM or Husky or the Austrians have to offer, which is substantial when you're talking a bike that's 250 versus 300 pounds with fuel. And the fuel mapping is unacceptable. Any carburetor that a dimwit has jetted somewhat correctly will run better than this bike. And this bike's expensive. It's the same price as anything from the Austrian market. So would I buy it again? No. But I wanted to show you what it does and how that is a problem. I don't think it's been documented very well. I know for 2021, people thought it was fixed. And supposedly it's better, but I would say better still sucks. It's not good. It's definitely not fixed. And could I fix it? Yes, but do I want to fix it? No. To me, spending that much money on a bike that costs this much money is ridiculous. It's like buying a Ferrari, but the bike doesn't run, but the car runs like shit. So you got to spend another 50 grand to fix it. You're talking a bike that's 10 grand and you're spending over 10% of its price to make it rideable. To me, that's something Honda engineers should have figured out before they sold this in the US market. Let me know what you think on this.